All right, YouTube, give me a second here while we organize ourselves. Yo! TikTok is up and running. I think we can go ahead and start on the YouTube live stream as well. Go ahead, folks, on TikTok. Go ahead and join me on YouTube. We're trying to make that last push for the 4,000 public watch hours. So in that way, all future videos can get monetized. So that would be great. Pero dímelo, mi gente. Yo, so I wanted to talk about this yesterday, actually, on the Travel Football Fan Show here live on YouTube and on TikTok. Of course, if you are... Oh, shoot. My screen just went crazy. Of course, if you are on TikTok, if you want to see the visuals on the screen, go ahead and join me on the YouTube live stream. But what I really wanted to talk about, this is what I really wanted to talk about yesterday, was this whole... I don't understand you Europeans complaining about the weather in the United States. Let's just start off right off the bat. There are a bunch of things to be hating on the United States right now. A whole bunch. Trump, Vance, Stephen Miller, all them goons. You could hate all of them for all you want. I agree with you. But to be complaining about the weather, what Enzo Maresca, the Chelsea coach, was saying, that this is ridiculous that we're stopping the games because of lightning. Has this fool never heard about lightning? And what it could do to somebody? Like have the Europeans never dealt with a lightning strike unaliving somebody in a soccer pitch? Like, are they not used to lightning? It's FIFA's policy on whether or not the stadiums. No, I believe it's U.S. government policy, if I'm not mistaken. It's not even so much about FIFA, but it also probably should be FIFA if they don't have a policy in place. But I'm going to need the Europeans to chill. Because it's coming off snobbish. It's coming off as y'all apparently know more about football than everybody else just because we call it soccer. You know, the freaking English invented the damn word. Like, I'm going to need these Europeans to chill the F out. Again, plenty to criticize the United States about. Everybody in the White House. Criticize them all you want. I agree with you. But, and actually, Luis, that's not quite true that most stadiums will have a roof. It's actually not true. Boston Gillette Stadium, MetLife in East Rutherford, Philadelphia Lincoln Financial Field, Miami with Hard Rock Stadium. So that's already 4. Okay, 4. Then we're going to go to Levi Stadium, 5. Lumen Field, Seattle, 6. Arrowhead, 7. So 7 of the 11 host stadiums in the United States will be open air. The only ones that are not open air, they have a roof, are Mercedes-Benz Atlanta, Energy Stadium Houston, AT&T Dallas, somewhat of a roof, SoFi Stadium. You know? So it's okay. All right? So, what I have here on the screen, and again, I'm live on YouTube right now if you want to see. I have, because apparently Enzo Maresca did not know that lightning strikes are an issue in the United States. Here I have a map, according to, who is this? I got it from Fox. I know, Fox News. Go figure. But no, this is from Via Sala Weather. Texas, Florida, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Louisiana are among the top states with the most lightning. Okay? And if you look at the map, Miami down here, Florida is just lightning capital. All right? I grew up in Miami. All the time, you see the sky would be dark. Black. It was time to go inside. Because in 2 seconds, that cloud comes over you, boom, with the lightning strikes. Maria Serrano, lightning shouldn't be taken lightly. Not at all. That's what I'm not understanding from these coaches, from these players. That, we have to stop the game because of lightning. Do they want to be fried chicken? That's why when I talked about it first on my socials, I did it in the context of Benjamin Franklin doing the lightning experiment and figuring out electricity by trying to cook a fucking turkey. That's why I talked about it in that context. Because that's how bad electricity is for you. He almost killed himself trying to cook a damn turkey with a lightning strike. You know? They cry about it, but most games in the East Coast where it helps the EU schedule. And we'll talk about that because that's really what I want to get to. This over-European complaint about the weather conditions when they have other things to complain about is in part why it's happening like this is because Infantino wanted to placate to them for the scheduling of the FIFA Club World Cup. Are there not indoor stadiums on the East Coast? Not to the size. Only Mercedes-Benz is indoor in the East Coast, if I'm not mistaken. Unless you guys want the World Cup to be hosted in Indianapolis. I believe that's Lucas Oil Field, Lucas Oil Stadium. I think that's the only other one indoor. Cleveland is not indoor. I'm thinking NFL stadiums. Baltimore's not indoor. Cleveland's not indoor. Pittsburgh's not indoor. Buffalo sure as hell is not indoor. You know? Jacksonville's not indoor. Nashville, Tennessee, not indoor. There's not indoor stadiums as much in the United States. You know? Alejandro, I'll get to that comment in a second. Back to YouTube here. Yeah, the complaint is a bit much, but I do think the weather delays during the final group stage games when the games are simultaneous is an issue. And I agree with you, Antonio. I completely agree with you. FIFA's going to have to come up with a protocol where they're going to have to delay the start of the games at the beginning, of course, if they anticipate bad weather conditions 6 hours in advance. And granted, it's not an exact science. But to be completely honest, that's really the only way that you're going to be able to alleviate, for example, for the issue of the lightning strikes. Now, again, Arrowhead, open air stadium. Miami, open air stadium. Okay? And they have a lot of frequency of lightning strikes. Hell, Kansas City is in the middle of Tornado Alley. It's in the middle of Tornado Alley. So, like, what did Enzo Maresco want? Like a tornado come in and be like, oh shit, there's Twister right there. He wants the freaking tornadoes to come through and just like wipe out his entire squad. The Real Madrid game tonight might have a delay. Okay, let's check the weather report right now for Miami. Weather on the ground, and again, I'm live on YouTube. You can see the screen that I'm seeing because there's a tropical depression developing. That's why, folks. That's why the game might be delayed. There's a tropical depression that's about to strike Florida. Like, no, oh my God, yeah, I mean, look at this. Look at this weather that's going to come through. Hey, y'all didn't know your boy did science fair projects on hurricanes. Well, now you know, folks. Now you know. Now you know your boy did science fair projects on hurricanes. I used to actually go to the National Hurricane Center there in Miami. Your boy is a big nerd. Still is in many ways. All right? Look, for the people that are acting surprised, right? That, oh my God, this could be a concern for next year. Why is it a concern now? FIFA, when they picked the United States in 2018, did not think that this was an issue back then. Like, were we enacting what is this climate change things that was gonna help alleviate the global warming situation? No. So this isn't a surprise. That's what I'm not understanding here. Santiago, and if something was to happen from the lightning, everyone would complain FIFA doesn't care about players. Absolutely right. I'm very happy to be in Atlanta. Love our stadium. It's insane. Have you been? Not been to Mercedes-Benz, and I haven't been to Atlanta in like years, actually. I used to do some elections work in Atlanta. But no, I've not been to Atlanta in a long time. Or the stadium. Never been to the stadium itself. But, yeah. So that's the irony. These Europeans are complaining so much about the weather. And look, right now, we might be having a delay at the Real Madrid game. Guys, 1:43 and all that rain's coming right now. Woo-wee. No, no, chance of rain 50%. No, that game's going to get delayed, folks. Like, we're literally providing live weather reports for the Real Madrid-Juventus game right now. The Real Madrid-Juventus game is probably going to face a weather delay, which is crazy. Which is absolutely crazy. All right? And again, TikTok, I'm live on YouTube right here. But these are the weather conditions right now, all right, in Miami, and it looks like there will be a weather delay for the Real Madrid Juventus game. Like, I mean, like I don't understand what Europeans think U.S. weather is. We have inclement weather because we're such a massive country. I do not understand this. FIFA should give the option to players and coaches to play at your own risk if they want to. No, because then y'all gonna see what it looks like when someone gets fried by a lightning strike, and it ain't gonna look good. They see Hollywood movies and they think it's all sunshine, but they haven't seen Twister or Twisters, the second part of that damn movie. And listen, I survived Hurricane Andrew in 1992. I have lived through countless hurricanes and tropical storms in Miami. I can tell you, you do not want to be playing through that shit. Twister was a good film. The first one or the second one? I don't even remember seeing the first one. I didn't even see the second one. All right? I didn't even see the second one. All right? Going to the finals of MetLife. Hopefully it doesn't rain. I hope so. All right? They forget that the Midwest and South is full of hurricanes, thunder and tornadoes. That's what I'm saying. Okay? And look, just so that we could get this out the way, the first one. Okay, yeah, the first one was decent. All right? Here's the weather report. Okay? Valió madre esto. Basically, look, just so in that way people don't think like FIFA didn't know that the United States had inclement weather. I looked up from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, okay? Live on YouTube right now. U.S. selected significant climate anomalies and events for July 2018. That's right, I told you, your boy knows about the weather. I probably could have been a meteorologist in another life, all right? I could have been a meteorologist in another life, folks, all right? But listen, 7 states in the Northeast had a top 10 warm July. And this is back in 2018. Okay? Back in 2018. So now y'all know that I'm not messing around here with my research. All right? Pennsylvania had the wettest July on record back in 2018. So they already know it's hot as hell and it rains a lot. Now, the one unique anomaly, weather-wise or climate-wise, that did happen in the South was that Georgia had below average July maximum temperatures. Cool. So that was interesting, okay? But in California was really, really, really hot, and there was a bunch of wildfires. So we're not even talking about wildfires, which did happen in Canada, in which the smoke really affected the entire Northeast, all the way down here to Washington, D.C., where I live in the area, okay? But California could get wildfires in the summer, all right? It could be extremely dry in Texas because apparently in 2018, in July 2018, about a third of the contiguous U.S. was dealing with drought. So we're going to have very dry conditions, very hot conditions. California might have wildfires. Canada might have wildfires. It's going to affect Toronto and the Northeast, where a lot of the games are going to happen. All right? In Cali, if it's hot, they turn off the power. Yeah. I mean, here they encourage you to turn off the power. They encourage you not to use as much AC, is what they do here. Go figure. So really, the only region in the United States that's going to have like pristine weather conditions is the Pacific Northwest. You know, Seattle, Vancouver. We'll talk about Vancouver and their announcement. I'm going to make a separate YouTube video, a separate little video as well. Much of the Northwest was dry in July, and it had the 6th driest July on record. And again, this was from 2018. So my whole point of showing this graph here on the screen, and again, I'm live on YouTube right now, is that FIFA knew the weather, the climate situation in the United States, and that was during Trump. They knew that the Republicans weren't creating any sort of green energy agenda to help with the temperatures. So they knew that this was probably going to be the weather, if not worse, by 2026. Like, FIFA can't act like, oh shit, we didn't know that it's really hot over here. No. That's bullshit. Like, y'all know this is the weather. And so the other thing is, the Europeans have been doing these like summer friendlies here in the United States. You telling me they didn't know that the weather gets hot over here? How long have they been coming here to the United States to do these like friendlies and shit? Huh? How long have they been coming here to the United States? I'm gonna call the Europeans out on this right now. How long have y'all been coming here, charging overpriced for these friendlies that you play, to come here to the U.S. to get your money and go back home? Y'all know it gets hot here, so don't complain, man. It's getting to the point of snobbishness. It comes off very snobbish that y'all want the pristine weather conditions. Borussia Dortmund, complaining about the weather being 87 degrees. Like, bro, some of my kids, when we had to play outdoor soccer, my young boys, they have to play in hotter conditions than that. Granted, not as long, and I know it's not the same. I know. But it's the fact that we have to live. This is the weather we deal with here in North America. I agree. Okay, so they don't play over there. Well, guess what? The rest of the world does. And that's what I'm trying to get at. The Europeans are being very snobbish about soccer, because they want everything to be to European standards, when they don't realize that in North America, guess what, Papi? This is the weather we play. If it makes us better or worse, I don't know. But this is what we have to play football in. World Cup games are about to be after 4 p.m. I'm down for that. So now, here's the thing about the kickoff times. According to AP.Soccer, he shared this video where the Atlanta CEO of the World Cup said that the kickoff times for the World Cup will be the same as those for the FIFA Club World Cup. 12 p.m., 3 p.m., 6 p.m., 9 p.m. I'm totally against that. If that stays, I am against that. These Europeans, and I want all the smoke from these European soccer content creators. I'm going to keep calling it soccer, y yo lo voy a llamar fútbol también, le voy a hablar en español también para que no me jodan la vida. I want all the smoke from the European content creators. I want you to tag every single European content creator across all my videos. Y'all need to stay up at 3 a.m. to watch soccer. I don't give a shit. Y'all want to complain about the weather? Then move the games to 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and midnight. Fuck it. Move it to those times. And stop complaining. Oh, it's raining too much. Oh, it's so hot. Papi, you can't have both. If we have to stay, exactly. If we have to stay up, y'all got to stay up. This is your turn to stay up. This is your turn to stay the fuck up and watch the football at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 2 a.m. I don't give a shit. It's your time to stay up. Because it's some bullshit. I'm sorry. I'm cursing a lot. I'm gonna get flagged. I'm gonna get flagged here. And yes, that's the other thing. These people are complaining about attendance to these games at noon. Papi, again, in America, and I'm not saying this is something that we like. I actually like the European model, which is, take your siesta at 3 o'clock. I like that for y'all. Shit, I wish I could live in Europe. Don't get me wrong. No me nieguen la visa tampoco para ir para Europa, yo. I love your lifestyle. I would love to live in Europe. Pero les digo una cosa. Don't be surprised that here in America, we can't go to a soccer game at 12 o'clock noon because, A, the majority of people work at jobs that they cannot get PTO from. And for those of us that can get the PTO, it's not worth it to go on and take a PTO day to go see two club teams that I have absolutely no damn allegiance to. The World Cup is going to be different a little bit. Yes, I understand that because the World Cup has that je ne sais quoi, that just that thing, esa vaina que inspires people to go watch Uzbekistan versus Cameroon. I get that. Pero papi, Europe, not everybody has fucking unlimited PTO. We're not like the French that go protest every 3 months and breaks apart here, okay? We don't have that same flexibility to go watch a soccer game. We don't have that same flexibility to be able to enjoy life here in the States. And I'm not saying that's a good thing. That's actually a very bad thing of our society and of our culture. I agree with you, Europeans. But y'all need to stop coming off very snobbish with your commentary about that. You really need to stop coming off very snobbish about that, because it is not because y'all looking like a bunch of assholes. I need to stop cursing. Oh my god. How do we say, Europe, stop being snobbish about football? Maybe this way. We need to stop catering to Europe when it comes to soccer. And you know what? I agree. Al Hilal knocked out Man City. Who saw that game? I agree, from Europe. Okay, Dale Joseph. Dale. Dale Joseph. We got a European agreeing with us. I say games should be 2 p.m., 4 p.m., 6 p.m., and 8 p.m. for the World Cup. That might work. I think it should be later in time. Granted, but 8 p.m. West Coast time is going to be 11 o'clock East Coast time. Like the games on the West Coast have to be a little bit later too. And that's the thing. If you want the majority of people to come to the games that live in the U.S., 2 of those games have to start at 6 o'clock and after. At least 2 of those games need to start at 6 o'clock and after, so the people that work during the day can go to those games. You know? The thing is, Chelsea played the summer series here in Philly 2 years ago, so I don't know why they're complaining. I don't know either. That's the thing. I don't think Europe realizes we have 3 different time zones. Actually, if we're being technical, the U.S. has 6 different time zones, I think. Wait. No, we have like 8. Puerto Rico, granted, not for the World Cup, right? It is 3. I agree with you. It is 3. But yeah, I think they don't understand that. The U.S. That's what I've been saying since December 2022. This is going to be the largest sporting event in human history. We are playing a continental World Cup, folks. So the proposed current times, again, according to the Atlanta 2026 World Cup Host Committee CEO, and this was according to AP.soccer, follow him on TikTok, he said that the times might still be 12 o'clock, 3 p.m., 6 p.m., 9 p.m. I think they should remove that 12 o'clock time. No one's going to go to a game at 12 o'clock. Make it 3, 6, 9, midnight. Midnight! Let's vibe, people! Especially if you're in Miami. Go to club, go to club space, chill out, for the pregame, and then head out to Hard Rock. Why not? Have to prioritize the countries where the World Cup is actually being hosted. I completely agree. Why are we catering so much to a European television audience? You want the World Cup to make money here. You want people to get time here. You have to make it enjoyable for the people here. You just have to. Lots of people sleeping in seats at 1 a.m. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. All right. Look, Qatar. Remember, I think that game that my wife and I went to for Brazil, South Korea. I'm pretty sure it was at 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm pretty sure 9 p.m. Eastern. 9 p.m. local time, because I think we left out of there at 11, and it was still pretty hot, but it was okay. But yeah, we did it, right? Europe can do the same, man. How can I save money to watch Bolivia next year? That's if they make it. Best advice, put your money in a high yield savings account and save as often as you possibly can. Save as often as you possibly can. All right. So we might have a weather delay in the Juventus-Real Madrid match. All right. We might have a weather delay there. I'm here live on YouTube, and we're checking out the radar. And yeah, it ain't looking good for Hard Rock Stadium. I'll tell you that much right now. Hard Rock Stadium is over here. Yeah, it's raining over Hard Rock Stadium right now. Woo-wee! Nope. That game's getting delayed, folks. They should move the World Cup to the spring or the winter. But hey, no one wanted to be listened to Qatar. What were the times when the games with Japan, South Korea? I don't even remember, but I remember how to stay up at 3 effing a.m. to watch the games in the 2002 World Cup. Dale Denny, thank you for the follow. But yeah, Denny, high yield savings account, save as often and as much as you possibly can. If a game is at 12 p.m., it's going to be dead. Everyone working at time unless they want another Club World Cup. That's what I'm trying to say, man. You can't put games at midday. You cannot. People got to go work, man. In America, it's expensive to be poor. In America, it's expensive to be poor. And you expecting people to be take whatever PTO that you think they can take to go watch a soccer game? It's not going to happen, fam. Absolutely not going to happen. So yeah, Europe, I love you. I love your siestas. Italy, I love your food. France, I love all the culture you got. But yo, your turn. Your turn to go watch games at 3 a.m. Yo, we can't have you complain about the weather and then say, oh, but why y'all ain't going to the game? Like we can't have you be doing that, man. We can't be having y'all complaining like that all the damn time. Y'all acting like if Miami doesn't get hit with hurricanes. Like what the hell, man? Y'all acting like if you haven't been here before. Y'all come here every single damn month. Look at that. Lightning capital of the world, Florida. Florida, lightning capital of the world. Texas. Look how many lightning strikes hit Texas, bro, in between Houston and Dallas. So if you're traveling on the road between Houston and Dallas, get ready for them lightning strikes, baby. You're gonna need some like cotton swabs in your ear, man, because it's gonna be crazy. We ain't changing out schedules so Europeans can be comfortable. Hey, man, all I'm saying is you either complain about one thing or the other, but don't complain about the weather, man. Complain about Trump all you want. I'm cool with that. But you're losing me, Europe. You're losing me with the whole complaint about the weather, man. We're not playing a tornado. We're not playing a soccer game during a tornado in Kansas City. Like, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. All right. Let's talk about something else, man, because I think I said enough about the Europeans and the weather, man. I think I've said enough. Your turn to stay up at 3 a.m., Europe. Your turn. All right. The other news that I did want to pop in here at this live was the recent comments that the premier from British Columbia, Canada, is like their governor, basically said the other day that he was basically winking at FIFA. He was like, hey, FIFA, if you want to, if you need to move some games, around because, of a certain geopolitical situation that's going on, just a certain situation that might be going on, consider moving games to Vancouver. It's like, whoa, hold up there, Chief. Hold up there. So this is very fascinating because remember when I said, and I think I've said this like about a couple months ago, I don't think that they're going to remove the United States as a host of the World Cup. I don't think that's going to happen. I see a small percentage chance that the U.S. loses a couple of games because, FIFA might say, well, listen, bro, the situation ain't that good. You've banned all these countries. We need to move some games around so that way we can facilitate these teams playing in this tournament. And in the event that they qualify, we need to make sure that we're trying to be compliant with your rules, right? So we might need to, move some of these games out of the United States. It's going to cost you money, but, that's why you want the travel ban. And then we just go from there. Can we talk about parking? Mohammed, I'll get back to you on the parking comment. And again, YouTube, if you're still watching, feel free to ask your questions. You get first priority in the questions. They should move the World Cup to Cuba. Okay. Vamos a jugar en La Habana entonces. Mexico should just host the whole World Cup. I agree with that too. But let's talk about British Columbia in a second here. So on the screen here, and again, you can watch this on my YouTube live stream at Travel Football Fan on YouTube. And I don't know why my screen just keeps going all over the place. So if we see Vancouver's schedule, right? If we see Vancouver's schedule here, their first game is not until June 13th. Okay, so June 13th is their first game. Okay, we cannot zoom in any further. Okay, got it. June 13th. And then their next game is June 18th, June 21st, June 24th, June 26th. And they have 2 knockout matches on July 2nd and on July 7th. So, it's very interesting that Vancouver is asking for more games because in that same article by the CBC, by the Canadian Broadcast Corporation, it did indicate that Vancouver might not make money off of the World Cup, right? That their expenses are a lot more than what their projected revenues are going to be from this tournament. I don't know if what they're thinking is that, hey, if we bring in more games, that's going to help generate that extra revenue, right? Because, they've already had the fixed cost of improving the stadium and this and that. But, then you have your residents having to deal with more games and more tourists. So that's one. Vancouver already has 7 games, which for context, Dallas has 9. and then East Rutherford, right, New York, New Jersey has 8. So to give Vancouver even just one more game would be a bit unprecedented, to say the least. I mean, and if you look at the schedule here, I mean, you could move a couple of games. I mean, you could move the LA round of 32 up to Vancouver, but that's going to piss the hell off Kroenke, okay? You could move one of these group stage games over to like the July 15 window, perhaps. June 15 window, excuse me. So it's possible, but as this comment here on TikTok indicates, Vancouver has a massive hotel shortage. They're considering bringing cruise ships to alleviate the room situation, just like how they did in Qatar. So the problem with Vancouver, I agree with Vancouver in principle, right? If the U.S. is having all these problems, go bring the games to Canada and Mexico, right? We could talk about Mexico. But the problem with the schedule, right, is that Vancouver already has 7 games, okay? 5 in the group stage, 1 round of 32, 1 round of 16. Which game do you move to Vancouver? Could you move another round of 16 game? It's possible. You can move another round of 16, round of 32 or round of 16 game to Vancouver. That's possible. A group stage game, it's more possible, of course, to move a group stage game over to Vancouver. But again, Vancouver would then have 8 or even 9, and Dallas is already hosting 9. It's not that there's a limit per se, but it'll be interesting if you remove one of Dallas's games, for example, right, and piss off Jerry Jones. 5 in the group stage, 4 knockout. Remove one of those Dallas games, push it up to Vancouver. You could do that. You could do that, okay? More possible or more plausible would be to move games to Mexico, because as you can see with Mexico's schedule, Guadalajara already has 4 group stage games, no knockout, and they have this big window right here. 6 days without a game between their first game and second game, which is the Mexico second home match, okay? You could move a game to Guadalajara there. Same thing as Ciudad de Mexico. You could put another game here. You could move up to 2 games to Guadalajara in the group stage, or give Guadalajara a knockout match. You could do that. Ciudad de Mexico already has 3 group stage. They could get another group stage game, and then maybe move another knockout game to Ciudad de Mexico. That way they have 4 in the group stage, 3 in the knockout. That's 7. That's possible. Monterrey has 3 group stage games. They can move another one over here too. Okay, and that's what, June 17, I believe is the date there. They could be given another knockout as well. So more realistically, just based on the calendar, it's more likely that FIFA would move games to Mexico because they would have these big gaps there. And maybe that's why these gaps exist in that calendar, to provide FIFA that flexibility to reschedule games to Mexico compared to Canada. Vancouver's already pretty full. I'm not sure. Maybe you could squeeze an 8th game and the round of 32. Maybe. But Mexico would be more likely the one that would get more games. Which, of course, this means that, we move 5 games away from the United States. 1 to Vancouver, 4 to Mexico. That might work. That actually might work. Okay? So, yeah. It was very interesting, those comments by the British Columbia Premier, aka the governor of British Columbia, regarding them moving the potential games to Vancouver. But honestly, unless they move around to 32, I don't see them getting a quarterfinal. That for sure, right? The quarterfinals onward is the United States. I think everyone's in agreement with that. But for group stage, it is possible that I could see Vancouver getting a round of 32 match. But more than likely, Mexico could easily accommodate an additional 4 games. And so that means that Mexico would gain +4, Canada +1, and you remove 5 games from the United States as some sort of punishment for the political instability that the U.S. has created for itself, right? But again, I don't expect the United States to lose the World Cup. It's just simply too much money involved. I think we're better off looking at the World Cup as a place where, if we're mad about the U.S. policy, which I know a lot of us are, let's think about instead how to interact with the World Cup in a way that helps with advocating and protesting for the specific causes that we want. I think that's the best way to look at the World Cup at this point of the game. Okay. What's with these multi-host nation World Cups? Was Qatar really that single last host one? Well, it's going to be Saudi Arabia 2034. So basically Saudi Arabia caught y'all with the finesse of, hey, you want to go back to single nation World Cups? Well, we got it right here in Saudi. Simple as that. On location single game on sale soon. No host match singles venue series will be available according to the recent email, including Mexico, Canada. That is correct. I believe on location, if you want the hospitality tickets, that's going to be available July 8th. It was the date that I was given. If you don't want hospitality tickets, but you want a travel package that does include your ticket to the game, go ahead and DM me on the socials for information on the packages from Absolute Sport. Okay. So yes, you can go ahead and that's basically your options right now. We don't have any information on the tickets just yet. Again, that's going to happen after the Club World Cup concludes, just because that's what Gianni Infantino wants. He wanted the full focus to be on the Club World Cup. So, that's why we're here as it is. All right, folks, questions. I think we can go ahead and enter the period where we can go ahead and answer questions, feedback, comments. This is the soundboard. Vancouver should get the final. I mean, look, I'm not saying that. I didn't laugh only because of I think that's a bad idea. I mean, New York is keeping the final. That is for certain, right? I think that Vancouver would have to play this very smart. Again, based on their schedule, they either going to get a round of 32 match or a group stage game over here in the so round of 32. Over here, which is June 28th, June 29th, or a group stage game between June 15th and June 16th. That's realistically, right? Realistically, the two possible games that Vancouver would get if, indeed, FIFA decided to move some games around. So I can see Vancouver getting one, okay? How do you pay for your trips and balance PTO? Well, right now, I'm not working full-time, so that's one. Two, with my recent trip to Barranquilla, Monterrey, I used my travel points to, book my flights, and that's how I was able to go and fly, not for free, but I was not having to use cash to do that. Went to MetLife for a Global Cup game, and the organization was not there in chess rotation. I don't know what to tell you. Man. But if this Club World Cup was intended to be a preparation, a test for 2026, let me tell you right now, the U.S. failed because too many of these U.S. cities had just been using this Club World Cup as just revenue generator and not really testing out what they're expecting to do in 2026, and it's really disappointing to see that. Quick note on Toronto. Toronto has 5 group stage games, 1 round of 32 knockout match. Potentially, they could get another round of 32 match here early on. So Toronto could get up to 6 games. Right now they would have 6. They would go up to 7. Vancouver could also go up to 7. So basically, Toronto could get 2 games. Mexico can get 3 games, and that would be 5. I can see that being the number that they move. Guadalajara goes up to 5. Monterrey goes up to 5. Mexico City would go up to 6. I think that would work, at least for now, unless FIFA was really looking to punish the U.S. much more severely. So, yeah. And I agree that the concessions have been really, really expensive for a lot of the fans here during the Club World Cup. I completely agree in that respect. And again, read that article by Felipe Cárdenas, because that's gonna be more the reason why. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice here. Give me 2 seconds here. I would say that that's the reason why you need to save extra money, because a lot of these folks were being told that their taxi to the hotel from the stadium, even though it was only 11 miles away, it was only going to be realistically only like a 20-minute cab ride, they would have to pay $150. That's why you need to save and have that extra money on hand, because you might be faced with some of these unexpected expenses, and then what? And then you're basically stuck trying to figure out how you're going to get yourselves back home. So, yeah. Yep. Okay. Excuse me. I'm like losing my voice right now. Questions, chat, questions, YouTube, please ask your questions away. This is the time that I like to help you out as much as possible here. Let's talk about Colombia and the squad in another live, because right now, I mean, Colombia needs to make the World Cup first and foremost. That's what they have to do. So yeah, this buying World Cup ticket is going to be the same as the Club World Cup. Probably not, but unfortunately, I don't know. Because they haven't released any information on how that process is going to work. Okay, for those of you joining on the YouTube live stream, I'm just going to play on the screen the weather conditions right now in Miami for the Real Madrid versus Juve game. That game is probably going to be delayed. Yeah, it's probably going to get delayed just because, I mean, the weather conditions there, it's been raining. It looks a little rough. I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to delay the start of that match. And I mean, and that's just the reality for the World Cup here next summer in the United States. This part of the country has inclement weather. It's as simple as that. All right, questions. Can't believe people are going to go even after they said ICE will be at the same. Well, so quick update on ICE. So it looks like they have not done anything. They have not conducted any raids. They haven't conducted any immigration arrests. ICE is sticking to what they said they were going to do, which was just provide, security at the stadium, as was their assigned protocol in the documents that I have here regarding the national security level 1 type of event that the World Cup, the Club World Cup is. So based on the documents I have here, basically, ICE is sticking to what they're supposed to do, which is good. I think it was important for us as a community to speak out against any funny ideas that they might have had. Fair enough, right? Of course. But overall, it's good that so far ICE has not done anything stupid, to say the least. So yeah. Folks, YouTube, questions. Ask me anything at this point. Let's talk about anything and everything you want regarding the World Cup, Club World Cup, anything you guys want. Anything that you guys want regarding Club World Cup, anything you guys want. Go ahead. Let's ask some questions now. We can go for like another 10, probably another 10 minutes or so, and then we can wrap up the live here. Again, I did answer that question already. World Cup tickets, we don't know if it's going to be the same as the Club World Cup. We hope it's not, because, then you have the threat of dynamic pricing. Really ruining, just ruining the situation for a lot of fans, to say the least. So we hope that will not be the case. What's my take on yesterday's upsets? Man, I didn't get to see the Fluminense versus Inter. I didn't get to see that one. But boy, oh boy, was that Al Hilal upset against Manchester City. That was a crazy game. When it was 1-0, not going to lie to you, Chad. I said, honey, go turn off the TV, go upstairs, go take a shower. I'm going to go work out. I'll go work out. I did some weights. I put the game back on. I was already heading towards halftime. And then right at the beginning of the second half, that game went off, man. That game went off. That shit was crazy. I can't believe Al Hilal, first of all, scored 4 goals against Man City when no one else could. Not even Juve could. And to knock him out, like, damn, Pep, what the hell? That was crazy, man. Good for Saudi. Good for Saudi football. Good for Al Hilal. Look, this is probably the best thing that could have happened for this Club World Cup for Infantino, if you really think about it. Because then at least he has the argument against the Europeans to say, well, you bums aren't all washing away the competition, right? And we still have tonight's games, too. Monterrey, I picked them as an upset against Borussia Dortmund. So it could still be that the quarterfinals are going to be only half of them are Europeans. Al Hilal, Fluminense, Palmeiras, and it could be Monterrey. Do your one-on-ones discuss flight and hotels or only financial tips? No, we discuss flights and hotels too. I have several venue series games at Azteca. Dale. Yeah, we discuss flights and hotels and stuff. Anything that you need from like one-on-one consultations, you can go ahead and book my consultations online. Make sure you use the Calendly link. Don't just fill out the spreadsheet. You can go ahead and book your session with me, and I'll set you up. We can talk about points and miles. We can talk about all the different ways that that you can go ahead and save money for your travels for 2026. What do you think about the perception we cannot host this event? Qatar had slavery building the stadiums. Russia with the political problems. Brazilians initially did not want a World Cup. Is it because the Copa failed? Politics were such on USA soccer. Sean, to quickly, or at least to briefly answer that question, Trump, number one, he is ruling with the same level of American snobbery that the world does not appreciate. We are really that removed from '94. So it is Trump. That is one. The Copa failure, it really wasn't a Copa failure. It was definitely a venue failure, a Miami failure. I hate to say it as me being from Miami, excuse me. But some of it might be the perception of U.S. soccer. We don't play soccer here, or they don't have a soccer culture here. I would beg to differ that just people don't understand what the soccer culture looks here in the United States. It is a very different culture. It is one where we follow 3, 4, 5, 6 leagues. We cheer for multiple teams, etc., etc. But no, I do think that the immigration issue here in the United States is a problem, a massive problem, and one where I am very surprised, but also funny. I find it funny that the people that were very loud about criticizing Qatar for, abusing the migrant workers over there to build their stadiums aren't talking shit about the ICE raids in Los Angeles and other parts across the country. They're silent. And y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all know exactly who I'm talking about. These two men in specific gear were talking all that jazz and all that smack at Qatar because, oh my God, they're abusing the migrants. But then we're not talking about the migrants here. We're not talking about how they're literally building a concentration camp over there in Miami, basically, in the Everglades. Okay. So, did Qatar deserve the complaints that we were getting, the criticisms that we were labeling to them? Yes. Of course they did. But it's just funny how people were so gung-ho and willing to criticize Qatar, but they ain't criticizing a single damn thing here in the United States. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. You're going to criticize Qatar, criticize Qatar. I'm not saying don't criticize Qatar. Qatar had a whole bunch of things. Qatar had a whole bunch of things to criticize it for. But you ain't going to criticize U.S. immigration policy here? How we're literally building a concentration camp down in Florida where this supposed president was saying it's built already. Yeah, I saw that. It's built already. Saying, oh, the alligators will take care of the people trying to escape. Like fam, that I would say that's a much more concerning, or rather, that the perception cannot be hosted here in the U.S. because we're being complete lunatics regarding this whole situation. So that's why. So yeah. Colombia doesn't want me to save money for the World Cup. Literally just bought tickets with them in Jersey. Yeah, something. I know I want to go to the game. I do want to go to the game there in New Jersey. That friendly. Pero a la misma vez, I'm like, man, $100? $100 to go see Colombia play, and that's going to be a B or C squad. Está como duro, but I feel like I got to do it for la cultura. But, I'm going to wait a little bit to see what's up. Just saw some of your live for the Miami transportation. Was thinking to take an Uber to a nearby location and walk 30 minutes to the stadium. Can we walk across Northwest 199th Street? You can walk across Northwest 199th Street. Hey, man, aren't you late to the game? Ain't the game starting at 3 o'clock? When is the game tonight? Is it a game at 3 o'clock or at 9 o'clock? Sorry, I'm not tracking. Is the Real game at 3 o'clock or at 9 o'clock? I apologize, folks. I'm not tracking. It's at 3. Bro, you're late, first of all. Yes, you can walk across. Okay, 3 o'clock. Thank you. Yes, you can walk across Northwest 199th Street. I'm pretty sure you can. All right. But 30 minutes, damn, man, that's gonna be a hell of a walk. Who's late? This person that's literally messaging me on the YouTube live. They're messaging me on the YouTube live. Hey, can I walk in 30 minutes, bro? The other thing you gotta worry about is the weather. Here, I'm gonna put the weather radar back on the YouTube live stream. Yo, you might get rained out, bro. I hope you have an umbrella. Because walking 30 minutes and then have aguacero no joda, bro. That's going to be crazy for you, bro. You sure about that? Sure. I mean, it looks like it's clearing up, pero, papi, hurry the hell up. Because that rain's going to come and smack you, bro. Is the game not delayed? Has there not been like an announcement of delay of the Real Juve game? Because there's a lot of water around Hard Rock Stadium right now. Oh, man. Not saying we are great or help ourselves, but it feels like hypocrisy within the soccer community. It feels like people forget about real issues if games end up being good. No, I agree. And listen, Sean, as a person that went to the World Cup in Qatar, yeah, there was a bit of hypocrisy in that too. There was a bit of hypocrisy in that too. I wanted to go to experience how the Arab world experienced the World Cup. Part of it, right? That's why I was in Dubai. That's why I was in Abu Dhabi, and then I went to Doha. And then at least I can say to myself, and again, maybe if this still makes me hypocritical, well, I will own it and take it. I think at least I can say to myself, well, at least I went there. Granted, I was on the ground 36 hours, sure. But at least I was able to see for myself what Qatar looked like. It's not a lot that you can see, right, in that amount of time. But at least you could say, okay, I went there, I experienced some of it. Okay. At least I was there to experience it and see it. And look, some of those things made me question some of my beliefs. Sure, like for example, you're seeing a lot of Arab families together, enjoying the game, having a great time. You say to yourself, well, okay, I could be against the World Cup in Qatar because of Qatar's policies and stuff like that. Fair enough. But the fact that Arab family was able to see a World Cup in a country, or at least in a culture that they feel comfortable, there's something about that. There is something to be said about that, right? That family that we sat next to, little young girl waving a Brazilian flag, that they felt comfortable, that they felt in place to see a World Cup, where, dare I say, they would not have that welcoming feeling here in the United States, unfortunately. So, again, it's conflicting emotions. I totally get that, and it's not. It's stuff that we're usually not comfortable talking about, but that's just the reality of it. So yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was a great World Cup. I'm not saying you are. I'm talking about perceptions. No. Of course. I'm not saying no. And I totally get where you're coming from, Sean. But I do think it's a good question to ask, and I think it requires a lot more time to talk about for sure. But yeah, the fact that the U.S. is being perceived as this, crazy gun-ho country with Trump at the helm is not helping U.S. tourism at all. It's not helping U.S. tourism. It's not helping tourism for the World Cup. The only thing I can say to that is, don't travel to the South. Avoid all the Trump areas. And stick with the major cities, sure. Seattle will be pretty cool. Go to Mexico porque la fiesta va a estar buena ahí. But if you still want to come to the U.S., Fluminense just gained a new fan. Yeah, I mean, look, man. No, and it's not to dampen the mood. I mean, it's the realities of it. It's absolute realities of it. I mean, some of these fans here for the Club World Cup, I mean, they've had good times in the cities, but I do think that there is something to be said that if you wanted to do a more like Americana vacation in the U.S., I probably would skip that Americana vacation. Skip it. Stick to the cities, okay? Even Atlanta. Don't drive an hour out of Atlanta, because then that's the South. That's the Deep South. You don't want to be driving through the Deep South by yourself. Trust me, I've done that drive. The Deep South is another world. So, that's like my tourism advice. If you really aren't comfortable in certain environments, exactly, don't go to sundown towns. Don't go to the sundown towns, fam. Stay to the cities, and you'll have a good time. All right? Hopefully. See those kids. Anyway, other questions. Let's wrap up in 6 minutes. That way, folks can get ready for, well, we think the Juve Real Madrid game should start at 3 o'clock. I'll have it on my phone while I go play some Warzone. But yeah, what else we got? Final questions. Repping NYC, New Jersey, Philly. That's going to be a good place. I mean, look, hopefully I have, I've already built up, over 45,000 Amtrak points. I'm going to be going up and down the Northeast Corridor for the World Cup. That's probably going to be my travel plan. Now, hopefully, Colombia will play over here on this side. I'll probably go to a game or two in Mexico for sure as well. Uh, ta, 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 ta. You've traveled to 4 states in the U.S., Dali. Each time Americans have been great and friendly. Good. I'm glad you've had that experience, man. I'm not saying I want y'all to have bad experiences in the U.S. Absolutely not. I want you to have good experiences in the U.S. You just got to know where to go. I don't know when the World Cup tickets come out yet, fam. You know, all the indications are after the Club World Cup, that's when Infantino's going to spill the beans. I think the best advice would be, unfortunately, follow Infantino on IG. Follow Infantino and FIFA on IG. That's probably the best way that you're going to be able to know when these tickets come out. But from time to time, you're going to see him, you know, talking nice about Trump. If you can handle that, go ahead and follow Infantino. That's probably what's going to happen. He's probably going to make some like big announcement there on IG. Hey, the tickets are going to happen like this. That's probably what's going to happen. So yeah, but we don't know yet. Okay, that's going to be after Club World Cup. All right? Okay, let me know your score predictions as we wrap up today's live. Let me know your score predictions for Real Madrid Juventus. It's going to start at 3 o'clock. And tonight's game, Borussia Dortmund versus Monterrey, los Rayados. Vamos Rayados, vamos Monterrey. Let me know your score predictions in the chat. I say Rayados win 2-1. I say Real Madrid wins. Juventus is trash. Does Ticketmaster refund tickets? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You'd have to have like a case or something in order for them to refund the tickets. Yeah, let's go with Real Madrid. I think it's going to be like a 3-1 Real Madrid over Juventus. They gave up 5 goals against Man City. Actually, no, they should give up 5 goals too, but it'll be 3-1. 3-1 Real Madrid. It'll be 3-1 Real Madrid and 2-1 Rayados. Vamos Monterrey. Vamos Monterrey. 2-1. I'm calling the upset special. There we go. We got more upset special predictions. 3-2 Dortmund losing. Woo. And Sergio Ramos gonna get a red card though. That's where it ends for Monterrey though. Sergio Ramos gonna get a red card or some shit. Let me know, TikTok. Let me know your score predictions in the chat. But in the meantime, folks, thank you so much for your support. I hope to hit the 4,000 watch hours before the end of the Club World Cup. That way, all the videos that we create after the end of the Club World Cup will be monetized. We will hit the goal, and boom, we just rack up the money. It will be after the Club World Cup final. It's on the Sunday. Sunday will be 333 days to go until June 11, 2026. That is how much time we have left to save money. That is how much time we have to get ready for the biggest sporting tournament in human history. So, yeah. It's going to be crazy, man. It's going to be crazy. All right, chat. Thank you so much for joining me today. Final questions. Rapid fire. Last 2 minutes before I close it at the 60-minute mark. Final questions. If not, thank you so much. If we don't get tickets to FIFA, we'll be the best third-party aftermarket to get tickets. I got to shout out my friends at Absolute Sport because at least they give you the hotel. They get you game day transportation. If you decide to go through these third-party, websites like StubHub, you're only getting the ticket and you're probably paying more than what the package that Absolute Sport is offering is giving you. Also, I do gain a commission off of those packages being sold by Absolute Sport. So if you want to support my work that I've done here for the last 3.5 years, you might as well purchase a package through Absolute Sport as opposed to giving away your money to a ticket scalper instead. What is a good strategy to have as a first-time World Cup attendee? Nair, I don't know. I don't know what travel style you have. I don't know how much money you make. Book a consultation with me. We could talk about it. What World Cup tickets to be bought from FIFA will be able to buy from Ticketmaster? I don't know that information yet either, unfortunately. We do not know what the ticket buying process is going to look like right now. We'll have to wait till after the Club World Cup, and we'll have to wait till what FIFA announces at that point. 30 seconds. Final questions. 30 seconds. And stay dry there, South Florida. Stay dry. Whoever's going to the Juventus versus Real Madrid game, stay dry because that game looks like it's going to get delayed. So I hope you brought some extra money for dinner because y'all probably ain't kicking off at 3 o'clock. I'd be very surprised if they kick off at 3 o'clock. Very, very surprised. All right, no more questions. All right, dale mi gente. Nos fuimos. Stay dry. Hard Rock Stadium, fam. Dale.